In 1985, Alan Moore created a snarky little Brit named John Constantine. Of course, with any of Moore's work, it becomes a cult classic and hit with readers. But we know whatever Alan Moore makes, a movie adaptation must follow. In 1997, production started development for Constantine and was set to film in 2002. An actor by the name of Nicolas Cage was attached to the film, but due to legal battles caused by production, the main director dropped out and Cage followed suit. Enter everyone's favorite human, Keanu Reeves. Somehow, Warner Brothers had enough money for the most wanted actor at the time, and he gladly accepted this offer. In this video, we will be talking about how Constantine is one of the best movies Keanu Reeves has ever been, but also one of the worst performances he's ever given. Like every Alan Moore adaptation, he wants nothing to do with it, and that's understandable. People have not treated his creations with care, but I felt this movie genuinely tried to, even though they just couldn't meet the mark. I believe this movie suffers a lot from a lot of things, and the main thing is Keanu Reeves acting. Listen, I love Keanu Reeves, and I think his best performance by far is Johnny Silverhand, but Jesus, does he not have any range. Anytime there's a joke or he's supposed to be some sort of sarcastic, he's just straight facing it and it completely deadpanned, and it just doesn't come off as funny at all. He sounds like a 1980s action superhero who's always trying to get one-liners in. Keanu Reeves is very limited when it comes to acting. And another thing, which is just a nitpick, he doesn't even really look like Constantine. I mean, they could at least try to bleach his hair. I feel like that's the bare minimum for the character. I don't understand why they didn't pick Guy Pearce as the top option, especially since Memento was released in 2000 and he was literally a spitting image of Constantine with blonde hair and all. I feel like that was probably the biggest wasted opportunity for a casting ever. So let's get in with the cast. Shia LaBeouf is in this movie and he's used very sparingly. Although I enjoyed every time he's on the screen, I found him to be pretty funny, and even his death was stupidly funny. I just thought it was so random. Rachel Weisz absolutely carried every scene she was in. I think she was probably the standout performance. Some scenes can come off corny and that's more of just the tone and writing, but overall she is really good. And honestly, we get even a great performance as a Lucifer. He might be on there for like 7 minutes, but he's actually really good and kind of creepy. The writing isn't the best, but again, there is something that stood out to me completely. When Constantine was trying to buy his way back into heaven, he was talking to Gabriel, and Gabriel told him that he can't just be let in because he knows about it. He has to believe in it. There's a big difference between knowing something and actually believing something, and I thought that was pretty deep, to be honest, especially in a movie like this. Something profound that I just didn't expect from this movie at all. And when I heard it, I just stopped and stared for a little, and I was like, never heard that before. You know, the writing is here and there, and Keanu's acting is not there. Let's talk about the visual effects. Overall, the effects are pretty well done and have aged pretty decently. Of course, they're not the best, but nothing took me out the movie, and some designs can come off weird, but then others can be super creepy and cool. I actually like a lot of the effects in this movie and don't think they botched it too much. Constantine came out in February 18th, 2005, making overall $230.9 million in the box office on a budget of $70 million. Holy crap. When making this video, I did not expect it at all to even be close to how much they made back. But, of course, critics absolutely tore this movie up, and can anyone guess the main reason why?
Anyone? Anyone seen this before?
You guessed it, Keanu Reeves acting. We love Keanu Reeves for a reason, and it's not just because he's a BAMF. It's because he's barely doing any acting in John Wick. And a role that requires him to use some acting chops just gets pulled down so much because he only has like 2 sides of acting. He has definitely gotten better over the years, but it's nothing super impressive or even close to being Oscar worthy. They apparently have a sequel in the works, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not excited. We finally have a chance to have a good Constantine on the big screen, and for some reason, they're gonna use Keanu again. That's like going back to Ezra Miller, and no one wants that. Overall, it's a decent movie with decent writing, decent effects. It's just decent. Maybe a good watch if you have nothing to do or you just want to go back. You haven't seen it since you were a kid and you just want to have nostalgia, but that's really it. The writing can be kind of iffy sometimes. There's a point where one of the demons was going up to Constantine and he said, finger looking good. And I was like, all right, well, let me pause this real quick. No, he did. He did not just say finger looking good. Be for real. But even then, the writing doesn't take me out too much. And I think this is a very well shot movie and very well edited. I did have a problem with the text font being so basic, especially in the very beginning. It just looks lazy. But overall, this movie is shot really well, and I did not expect that when coming back to it. I think Constantine is an underrated movie. Now, not because, wow, it has good acting, wow, Keanu Reeves did the best. No, it's because it's decent written and it's decently well shot. And I think it deserves maybe just a second chance from everyone's opinions because it has completely been written off with all the other crappy superhero movies of the early 2000s. But anyway, guys, I hope you had a good Christmas and got everything you wanted. I hope you guys had a good year. This year has been amazing for me and the channel. We grew in so much of a short time, and I'm just glad that people can comment and have discourse and just have a little community. A community's been one of my #1 goals with this channel, just so I could find other people to talk about films, comics, and TV shows about. Usually when you go on Twitter, it's just a cesspool of the same ideas over and over, and I don't have the majority of opinions sometimes, and so instead of getting dogpiled, I can actually talk to someone who has the same opinion as me, or if you don't have the same opinion, we can have a civil discourse. I hope you guys stick with me through 2024 and just see how everything goes. If you like this video, like it and subscribe for more. Anyway, guys, my name is Comics from ABT, and I'm out. Peace.